Hello and welcome to your next maths lesson. Today we're continuing to learn about equivalent fractions, and today we're trying to find more than one equivalent fraction. So pause this video, write down the learning objective and then press play when you're ready. Okay, so the first thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause the video and find two pieces of paper. You might need to, if you haven't got any spare, very carefully tear them from the back of your workbook. Pause this video now and find two pieces of paper. I should have said you need to make sure they're the same size, so just double check now they're the same size. If they are, with the first, I'd like you to fold into two equal pieces. With the second piece of paper, I'd like you to fold into 8 equal pieces. Pause this video and do that now. Once you've done that, I want you to tell me what equivalent fractions have you made. With the piece of paper folded into 2 equal parts, what is that called? Tell me. Well done, it's half. Now, the piece of paper that you folded into 8 equal pieces, that has got 8 parts. But the equivalent fraction, well done if you've got it, is 4/8. Well done. How can we use a bar model to help us find equivalent fractions? I've got a third here, and I'm going to use it to find an equivalent fraction. Here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. So I've got 1/3 here and 2/6 here. What does that show me? Well done if you guessed it. It shows me that 1/3 is the same as 2/6. 1/3, 2/6. Okay, so here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts to my shape, and I've got 1 part shaded, which means that it is 1/5. So I've got 1/5 shaded here, and now I've got another bar model, and each of the squares are cut in half. So now we haven't got 5 parts, we've got 10 parts. Now I've got 2 of those shaded to show me that 1/5 is the same as 2/10. Well done. What I'd like you to do here is I would like you to use the bar models to find the equivalent fractions. So remember, you need to count the total number of parts and then the parts that are shaded to work out what the fraction is. Pause this video, write down the equivalent fractions and then press play when you're ready. Okay, let's see how you got on. So the first one, I've got 1/2, and that's the same as 2/4. They are equivalent fractions. Next, I've got 1/3 and 3/9. Well done, because that's split into 9 parts. 3 of them are shaded, so it's 3/9. Here I've got 1/5, and then we already know this. 1/5 is the same as 2/10. They are equivalent. And then at the bottom here, I've got 2/3, and that is the same as 4/6. Well done if you worked out the equivalent fractions. So bar models are really useful to help us work out equivalent fractions. Okay, a little challenge for you. How many ways can you draw half? I want you to pause this video, and in your book, I want you to think of as many different ways as you can to draw half. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, here are some of the ways that I've drawn half. So I've got a circle, I've cut it into 2 parts and shaded one of them, and this is 1/2. Here, I've got a square that I've split into 4 parts, and then I've shaded 2 of them. 2/4 is the same as 1/2. Here I've got some dots that I've got 6 of them, and I've shaded in half of them, which is 3/6. So 3/6 is the same as 1/2. And here I've got some squares. I've got 8 squares that I've shaded in half of them, or I've shaded in 4 out of 8, 4/8. I wonder how many you found. Okay, next challenge for you. How many ways can you draw 1/3? Pause this video and draw them as many different ways as you can. Okay, let's see if you've got any of the same ones that I've got. So I've got a circle here that I've just split into 3 parts, and I've shaded in one part of them, so that's 1/3. Here I've got 6 parts in total, and I've shaded in 2 of them. That's 2/6 is the same as 1/3. You can see that that could be my 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts. Here I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 parts, by 9 circles, and I've shaded in 3 of them, 3/9. It's the same as 1/3. And here I've got 12 squares and shaded in 1 row of them, and you can see that that is the same as 1/3, isn't it? Or it could be 4/12. I wonder how many ways you found. Now it's time for your chili challenges. Remember, you've got 3 challenges to choose from: mild, spicy and extra hot. Pause your video on the challenge you'd like to complete, and then press play when you're ready to mark. Here's your mild challenge, spicy challenge, extra hot challenge. Press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, let's see how you got on. Here are your answers for mild, spicy and extra hot. Okay, let's move on. I've got a problem for us to solve here. Sam, Hannah and Nick all have a chocolate bar that is the same size. Who ate the most? So Sam ate 2/3. Hannah ate 8/12, and Nick ate 6/9. Now, how could I use what we've learnt today to work this out? Now, we've been using bar models, haven't we? We've been using bar models to help us to see equivalent fractions, or who. So maybe I could use that to see who has done more. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure that each of my bars are the same size. And then I need to split them into equal groups. So here I've got 2/3. So I've drawn my bar and I've split it into 3 parts because they're thirds, and I've made sure they're equal. And because Sam ate 2 of them, I've shaded in 2. Now Hannah, I've made sure that I've got the same size bar, and then I've got equal parts in the middle. So you could use this the squares on your book to help you to do this as well, to make sure that they're all the same size. I've got 12 parts. So if you can see, I've got 4 parts in each of the thirds, and then I've coloured in 8 of them. So at the moment, it looks like Sam and Hannah ate the same amount. And then Nick ate 6/9. So my bar's going to be the same size, but this time I've split them into 9 equal parts. I've coloured in 9, and I can see, oh yes, they've all eaten the same. So nobody ate more than anybody. They've all eaten the same because the fractions are all equivalent. So they all ate the same amount. Okay, now it's time for another chili challenge. Remember, choose mild, spicy or extra hot. Pause your video on the challenge and then press play when you're ready to mark. Here's your mild challenge, your spicy challenge and your extra hot challenge. Press play when you're ready to mark your work. Here we go. Here are your answers. Pause the video, mark them and then press play when you're ready. Remember, the pattern of the shaded in squares doesn't really matter as long as the number is correct. Well done for all your hard work today, and I'll see you in the next lesson.